Hi guys, welcome to Thirsty Thursday. I'm Danielle from BestProducts.com, and today we are super excited to have the Wines of Chile here. We're going to be doing a guided wine tasting, great for summer barbecues, with 4th of July coming up just around the corner. So a couple whites, a couple reds, and we're so excited to have you guys here. I'd like to introduce Mario Pablo Silva. He's the president of Wine of Chile, as well as Mary Beth Bentwood, Executive Director of Wines of Chile for the USA. Welcome guys, thank you so much for coming in. We couldn't be more excited to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting to have this beautiful food with the Chilean wines.
Absolutely, and congratulations on your World Cup victory last night. Good time for you to be in New York.
we were enjoying a little yesterday night after to beat Colombia.
A little celebrating?
Yeah.
Excellent. The party continues. So we'll have Mary Beth, if you want to start us off
Sure.
with some of the whites.
Yeah. So we put together a selection of wines that we think are going to be perfect for your 4th of July barbecue and then beyond, no matter which direction it goes in, like if it's clam bake or lobsters or like throw down, smoky barbecue. And I think what's really cool about the wines that we have here is that they reflect Chile. And Chile is unique in the world. It has a geography unlike any place you've ever been. It has volcanoes, it has ice fields in Patagonia, it has deserts, the world's driest desert in the north. It has the cool Pacific Ocean, which makes amazing seafood, and the Andes Mountains. So it really is diverse, which gives incredible diversity of wines. So the first wines we have, we're going to start with the whites, are Chardonnays and Sauvignon Blancs. You might be more familiar with Chile's reds. I think people, have had a Chilean Cabernet, but they might not have had a Chilean Sauvignon Blanc or a Chardonnay, and those are great go-to summer wines.
Well, and Chile is a very long country, 8,000 kilometers, but we have only 180 kilometers wide. And you can imagine that in these 8,000 kilometers, we have 5,000 kilometers of coast.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of possibilities of producing wines from this very cool weather.
Yeah.
And we have here some of the wine producers from that place. And another important point to note is that Chile is a very good producer of wine, but also is a very good producer of food.
Yes.
In a very pure and natural way, sustainable wines and food. And here we have a lot of food that in Chile we produce very well, and we are used to have with wines. For example, the salmon, okay, the corn, seafood generally, also pork, meat. Then we have a very good combination of different food to match with our wines.
Yeah. So let's start with the Chardonnay. We have a really pretty Chardonnay from Santa Rita, the Medalla Real. And we think this is going to pair really beautifully with the lobster roll and the corn. It's got that slight sweetness and the buttery notes and that great mouthfeel. So we think that's going to be a pretty great pairing.
Yeah, I think the combination between the touch of sweetness of the corn and this seafood with the sweetness we have in the Chardonnay match very well.
Yeah, and there's a slightly different style Chardonnay here, the Santa Carolina Chardonnay, which is equally beautiful, probably a little richer. So those are two great options for you. Then we have a couple of Sauvignon Blancs, and there's another country I think that makes Sauvignon Blanc.
We don't need to worry about that.
But if you're a Sauvignon Blanc drinker, you have to discover Chile. The diversity of Sauvignon Blanc in Chile is just incredible, from the north to the south. The acidity, like the citrus notes. You can have like a citrus style or a tropical style. So if you love Sauvignon Blanc, and there's a lot of Sauvignon Blanc lovers out there, try Chile. I think you'll really be surprised.
And which part is this specific Sauvignon Blanc from?
The Lolol.
This part is named Lolol. Lolol is a denomination in the Colchagua Valley, and it's 20 kilometers from the Pacific. Then the weather in that place is a little cooler than in the rest of the valley.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to produce good Sauvignon Blancs.
Okay. How does that cold temperature impact the wine? Does it have is it kind of a crisp, refreshing wine?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
What
I
do you
like
think?
that. I like that style.
And before we go to temperature, I just want to note it is screw cap, which makes it perfect for your picnic
Yes.
or going to the beach.
Yeah, I think screw cap is a very good option for this white wine that you really like to drink fresh, with a lot of freshness. And now you produce the wine, and if you like to enjoy a nice, crispy white wine, screw cap is a perfect for that situation.
No cork, no problem.
So what do you think of that wine?
Let's give it a rip. smells great.
It is thirsty.
Yeah, it's very
It's
mineral.
refreshing.
Right.
A little bit of
It's refreshing.
acidity. I can definitely see this paired
Mm.
maybe with tomatoes,
Right.
herbs, something kind of fresh with a little bit of a herbaceous bite.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get that like the tomato leaf note.
Yeah.
You know.
This has
Even
some
pepper, a little bit of like green pepper.
Yeah,
green
exactly.
pepper, and some
Exactly.
herbal notes, but also some tropical fruits.
Yeah.
I think this is a very nice combination. And in the mouth, it's a little crispy,
Yeah.
and with just a level of acidity, it's okay
Yeah.
for this type of food we are having here.
I think if you're having a gazpacho or you're making a ceviche, you know, you've got that beautiful brightness with acidity. I think those would go really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Should we move on to salmon. We have a beautiful salmon here, right? And salmon you eat all year long, but you grill it a lot in the summertime.
Mhm.
So you could really go many different ways with the salmon depending on how you're preparing it.
Yeah.
Right?
If you use, for example, salmon like this, you can have with some white wines, for example, very nice. With also with a Chardonnay, for example. If you have a fat salmon or with some salts, you can also match with some red wines. We will see after.
Yeah,
But
right, good.
salmon is a very ductile food
Yeah.
to match with different wines.
It's almost like the duck of the sea.
Right.
Like they put a
I
little
like
fat
that.
in it
Yeah.
that's super juicy. And I think Pinot is probably my go-to choice with
Sure.
a salmon. But depending on the preparation, you can also do it with a Chardonnay. If it has like a cream sauce, but also if it had like a lime zest on it, you could do a Sauvignon Blanc. So
Okay.
super flexible.
Super versatile. And
Yeah.
just for our viewers, what's the price point of this? For example, the Sauvignon Blanc,
So this is 13.
13.
And
Perfect.
the range of wines that you're going to see today really range from about 13 to 35. So you've got your everyday wines, and then you've got your Saturday night specials.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Awesome. Do you want to move us through
Yes.
a couple of them as we get a little bit more into the red zone?
Let's go to Pinot
Yeah.
Noir.
Okay. Excellent.
So we have the Matatich Pinot Noir.
Yeah, Matatich, they produce this nice Pinot Noir in a very nice valley of Chile. It was perhaps, it was discovered in the 80th decade on the valley. I'm talking about the valley. And this valley produced very good Chardonnays, Sauvignon Blanc, and also very good Pinot Noirs. The weather is cooler than in the central section of our country. And this winery is a very nice winery. They are a very boutique,
Yeah.
and they produce some very good Pinot Noirs. Then now we are going to recommend the food we think is better to have with this type of Pinot Noirs.
Yeah, I think the salmon would pair perfectly with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I think also the interesting about Pinot Noir from Chile, probably not a lot of people have had a Pinot Noir from Chile, but you know if you're a Pinot Noir lover, it's really hard to find affordable Pinot Noir. Just Pinot
Yeah.
Noir tends to be a very expensive grape to produce well. And I mark my words, I think you're going to see Chile becoming like the go-to Pinot producer for that like $35 range, because what you can get out of Chile rivals anyone for the price with Pinot Noir.
And Pinot Noir is a grape, it's a very nice grape. But if you want to really have a nice wine with that grape, the grape must be planted in the perfect place
Right.
to grow. The grapes are very demanding of the terroir. Terroir is the combination between the hand of the man with the soils and the type of land. Okay. Then the Pinot Noir need terroir, and in Chile, we are working now because we are a very diverse country. We have different corners in the valleys where you can produce very nice different grapes, and Pinot Noir has found his place in some of these places, like
Okay.
here in Casablanca.
Gotcha. You said it's a valley, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I think the pork ribs have a sweet barbecue sauce on it, and I think that's going to pair beautifully with the Pinot Noir,
Yep.
because the Pinot Noir is going to have soft, silky tannins, just a slight sweetness, not a sugary sweetness, but just a roundness, you know, super elegant, and I think it would be a really nice pairing with pork ribs.
Pinot Noir can be very light, soft, etc. for every day, and also remember remember that you can have very opulent wines with Pinot Noir, with Morocco, opulent, with a lot of fruit also.
Yeah.
Then, depending on the Pinot Noir you are going to have, you have to decide finally which is the food
Right,
for
of
the
course.
Pinot Noir.
So we've got 2 wines left, and I think these are probably maybe the most recognizable from Chile, right? We have the Cabernet.
The
and
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, for Chile,
Cabernet's right here.
the Cabernet Sauvignon is the most important grape in terms of our exportations. For example, in the United States, as a single varietal grape, Cabernet Sauvignon is the most important grape of Chile here. The most important category is the red blends, where also Cabernet Sauvignon is present. We have different corners in our country and different valleys where you can produce very good Cabernet Sauvignon in different styles. Then for Chile, the Cabernet Sauvignon is a very important grape, and you can find here in the local market in US our Cabernet Sauvignon in different places.
Yeah, certainly the most widely available Chilean wine that you're going to find out there.
And our Carmenère. Carmenère is the emblematic grape of Chile because it was rediscovered in 1994, blended with our Merlot. Carmenère, Chile is the only country, we can say that is the only country in the world producing Carmenère because we produce 99% of the total Carmenère produced in the world. The Carmenère produce wines with elegance, with very good body, very great color, with a touch of grit in the tasting, a touch of pepper, but very soft and elegant, which is the style of the Chilean wine we are looking to produce to the future. And Carmenère has a very important characteristic talking about food. You can match Carmenère with different type of food. For example, in UK, I remember we developed a campaign with Carmenère and curry. Also, we had matched the Carmenère with some Italian food. If you have this salmon, for example, Carmenère sometimes match very well. But in Chile, we drink Carmenère mostly, and this is, I am talking about also my experience, my family experience, because we live in the countryside. We live every day there around the cellar, in the middle of the vineyards with the horses, etc. We have a lot of barbecues, and we have always, in the barbecues, we have Carmenère.
Yeah.
And we love the grape of Carmenère, and we think with Cabernet Sauvignon, Sauvignon Blanc will be the most important grape of Chile to the future.
And with that, someone just asked, they were wondering, what's the favorite wine on the table that you have for the summer season? Do you have a preference, or?
It depends what you're eating, right?
Yeah.
Depends on your eating, but obviously when you want to start a dinner, for example, or a lunch in a relax, a glass of the Sauvignon Blanc is very good because it's crispy, it's easy to drink, it's nice, and it's fresh. And after, if the day is very hot, perhaps you can go for a Pinot Noir, a cool, and also the Carmenère, for example, accept 2-3 Celsius degrees less than the Cabernet Sauvignon when the weather is very hot.
I think that's something that most people might not know is it's okay to put a little chill on your red wines. Your red wines, especially in summertime, will benefit from that. Especially Pinot. Pinot you can serve like just slightly chilled, a little bit less than room temp. I do that, and I love that. And I think the Carmenère is spicy. Do you get that?
Oh, yeah.
And I think curry is a really hard thing to pair with. We don't eat a lot of curry in the U.S., but I think curry, like barbecue, is a complicated dish. It's, has a lot of different levels to it in terms of flavors. And I think barbecue is that same challenge. What do you pair with barbecue? And I think Carmenère kind of is the perfect thing to stand up to really strong barbecue flavors.
Oh yeah, it even has almost like a charred. There's like a little tiny bit of smoke in there. Yeah.
Yeah, in a good way.
Oh, in a great way.
In a good way.
It makes me want to eat barbecue. Like I feel like this would go great with a burger, great steak
or some
with
pulled
the char.
pork.
Pulled pork.
Like a
making me
brisket.
hungry.
I know.
I didn't have lunch either.
We didn't pair the cab, but I think cab and a slab is like a really easy way to think about what to pair with your Cabernet, right? A good whole slab of fine meat.
Can I do a hashtag?
Yeah, cab and a hashtag. Cab and a slab. Chili. But we've got some great skirt steak over there.
Yep.
It also has some herb, on it.
Yeah.
And you'll get herbal notes in good Cabernet. So I think it's great pairing. And the sliders, I think you can do the sliders really with the cab or the carbonara because the sliders have a lot of condiments on there. There's
Right.
pickles and tomato, and I think when you're going that complex, the carbonara is a really good partner to put it all
Absolutely.
together.
Yep. And just for our viewers, price point wise, what could they get a really great carbonara like this? Can they get that here? How much would that go for?
I mean, I think carbonara is not an easy varietal, so you're not going to go, you don't want to really like go for under 10. So
Okay.
It's
I think,
going,
like,
but
right, but for a safe bet, I think you have to look north of 15 and upward for
Okay.
carbonara is what you're going to want to spend.
Gotcha.
And I think cab is similar. I mean, there's a lot of really affordable Cabernets at your grocery store, but I encourage you to buy the Cabernets that are like 15 to 25. Not because I want you to spend more money, but because I think what you're going to find when you spend that is it is better than what you're going to get from Washington. It's better from what you're going to get from the Central Valley. Just the quality to price ratio that Chile can deliver will just change your mind about the kind of wines Chile's making. They're really world-class competitive wines.
and when you drink one of our wines, please think in our country. Our country is beautiful, it's pure, it's at the end of the world, it's natural. We work under sustainability code.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of beautiful corners from the desert to the Patagonia,
Yeah.
and from the Andes to the Pacific. And these wines are produced in these corners. If you go to visit Chile, I am sure you will be in love with our country because you will have nice wines, nice people, and very nice food.
And you can go skiing in the morning and surfing, albeit in a dry suit, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Chile is really unlike any other country in the world. You have to come visit us to discover it. You'll fall in love with it.
And also, so it's so interesting. Maybe some of our viewers aren't aware, but wine culture in Chile, it sounds like it's having a really big moment right now. From the 1970s and on, it's sort of
Sure.
a recent movement, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The wine is the Chilean emblematic product. It's the best ambassador of Chile around the world.
Yep. Excellent.
We like that.
Awesome.
And someone was wondering just more about that summertime because you were talking about, so for summertime red, could you talk more about the chilling it?
Yeah, sure. I think you could take a Pinot and put it in your refrigerator 45 minutes before your guests arrive, take it out, and it's going to be perfect room temperature. And your guests will thank you for it because it's a little more refreshing,
I think the temperature for the red, for example, must be always between 17 to 18 Celsius degrees. We use Celsius in our country. Well, you have to use the calculator too. But
We can't do the simple
About
math.
55.
But for the summer, for example, there are grapes like Pinot Noir or like Carmenère that you can drink in 2-3 degrees less, 14 degrees, 15 degrees. And white wines, obviously less than this, 10,
Yeah.
9, 8 degrees is perfect for the summer.
The other thing is, there's really no rules. It's your wine. Serve it the way you want to drink it. These are great guidelines to go discover what you like, but there's no wrong way to enjoy your wine.
Yeah.
As long as you enjoy
for
Chilean wine.
soft tannins, look for soft tannin, elegant wine, not too much oak, not the oak obvious in the wine. Look for elegance and fresh fruit, and in that way, I think Chile can produce a very good wine,
Yeah.
very good wines.
The other thing, and I don't know how important it is to you as a purchaser of products, but Chile has a goal for itself to be 100% sustainable by 2025. And that sustainability is both in the vineyard, in the processing of the wine, and in the labor. So, fair trade, sustainability practices.
But the most important thing in sustainability, I insist in this,
Yeah.
is that the mind of the people change. Today, when you're going to visit the winery, you will see 100% of the people working in the winery, 100% committed with sustainability because they understood that it's the way of life to the future. And this has been one of the most important change in the Chilean wine industry, looking for the quality.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Are there any other
Well, this is a hard one. I don't know if you're ready for it.
tough questions?
Do you have a favorite wine on the table? No.
It's like choosing a favorite child, I feel.
We can't
Not
answer
at all.
that question, you know?
I will not say a name of the winery because I am representing the Wines of Chile, and it's difficult for me to say a name of the winery. But I really like, my favorite grape is the Carmener for me, because it's a very good combination of the power of the Cabernet Sauvignon with the softness and elegance, for example, of the other grapes like Pinot Noir. Carmener is in the middle, and I think, obviously, I really like the Cabernet Sauvignon. Chile is a very good producer of Cabernet Sauvignon. And I think wines of Cabernet Sauvignon, Carmener, or blends in the future with this grape, and also a Pinot Noir, could be very good, very good.
Yeah. I have favorite wines for favorite occasions, right? So I got home from work.
And that is true. That is, yes, you have reason.
Right.
I decide the wine I'm going to drink depend of the occasion.
Right.
Sometimes I like to have a Pinot Noir. Sometimes I decide to have a Sauvignon Blanc.
Right.
And sometimes when I am having the food for red, but I think the Sauvignon Blanc, the white, is heavy, I also drink some white wines with food for red.
Right.
This is the most beautiful things about wines and food.
Right.
Finally, you decide which is the final
So,
combination.
what would be your wine pick for the first Thirsty Thursday?
The first, that is today, right?
Yeah.
That is today.
Carmener, my friend.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Right?
This is outrageous.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
a great.
really, it's like, it's developed even in the 5 minutes it's been poured.
Carmener is an interesting varietal because not
Yeah.
a lot of people know a lot about it, and it's not that old in terms of its presence in the U.S.
Yes.
It's just about 20 years. It was only discovered a little more than 20 years ago.
It was rediscovered in 1994 in Chile. But remember that Chile is the only country free of the plague phylloxera that devasts the vineyards around the world, in France, in Italy, in the United States. And we have original plants in Chile. And we maintained the Carmener for a long time blended with Merlot, and it was confused. And in 1994, the Carmener was rediscovered, and we start understanding and learning more about the Carmener. Obviously, after these 22 years, we understand the Carmener better, and we are producing very good wine from this marvelous grape.
Incredible. Awesome. Yeah, I agree with the Carmener. I think that's hard to pick, but I think it depends on mood.
Yeah, and
You're laid back with the Sauvignon Blanc. Is there sort of a beachy, refreshing situation happening there?
For me, I get home at 7 o'clock. I'd like to say 5, but it gets
Right.
Right. So you get home at 7, and I crack open a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I go to yoga, but I don't. I go home and I crack open a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc,
Right.
and that's just like yoga, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, the day has ended, and now and I get to enjoy being home. And then it's dinner time, and then I'm gonna go on whatever. If I'm having some seafood, I'll probably jump over to Chardonnay or the Pinot Noir. I love Pinot Noir because it's so friendly. It's it can go either way. It can go meat or it can go seafood. It's just
Super
the most
versatile.
versatile, right?
Yeah.
But if you're having a barbecue, I'm gonna put some beautiful reds out there, and then I want the Carmener and the red blends and
Yeah.
the cab.
And also another important point is that drink with moderation. Wine is good for health.
Mm.
Okay.
What about
Help
the
your
tannins
heart.
or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is very important also.
Yeah.
Drink with moderation. Wine is good for health.
So it's not an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's a glass of wine a day, right? That's my understanding.
No.
A glass of
It's
red.
Did I get
it's
that wrong?
well, for
Glass of red
Chilean red
One
wine.
glass of red
the
wine a
official
day.
measure is 1 glass for women's, 2 glasses for men's. But I think
It's
you
debatable,
can, I
don't
think
you?
you can drink a little more without
Not
any problem.
American women.
Right.
No.
Debatable. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I agree with that though. Nothing better than a glass of wine at the end of the day.
Right?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I think we're gonna have to dig into this. It's the lunch
Yes.
hour, right? We have to dig in.
Here, would you like some? Would you like a lobster roll?
I'll save the viewers from watching me
I
actually
know.
stuff my face with that. But thank you guys again so much for coming in. Cheers.
Cheers.
And welcome to the
Cheers.
States. I hope you have a
Yes.
great
Thank you very much
day.
for inviting
Cheers.
me here.
Cheers.
It's a
Thank you so much
pleasure.
for coming in.